Hey guys, it's Will here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to be doing part 3 of our look at the Eldar rules from the new Phoenix Rising book. And this is going to be looking at the new Eldar Craftworld attributes you can pick. So much like you can with Space Marine chapters, you can now make your own custom Eldar Craftworld. And it works in the same way as Space Marine chapters. You just pick 2 attributes from a list, and that is your Craftworld's rules. Obviously these replace the normal Craftworld rules like Alatok, Biltan, Semhan. So yeah, you do have to consider, do you want to pick one of those craft worlds because of the special characters, the relics, the warlord traits, stratagems, because all of that you won't get in a custom craft world. So it's definitely not something you want to jump straight into. You don't get those things, but you get a lot of flexibility to pick what works for you. And what I thought I'd do tonight is just pick out 6 combinations that I think might produce some of the best results on the tabletop. There's loads in here that give a lot of theme, and it's really entirely up to you, to sort of pick the backstory of your craft world and pick the stratagems or the attributes that you think will fit that best if you're sort of looking for more of a fluffy way to use this. But what I'm looking for here is where the strong combos are. And initially when I was reading this list, I was like, well, there's some nice things here, but, for a whole army, there's nothing that beats Alatok. There's straight up -1 to hit at over 12 inches across the entire army is just really strong. And so wasn't quite sure what I was going to do for this video, and then watched a very interesting video reviewing these rules by Almost Pro Gaming. So check out his YouTube channel, particularly if you're looking for the more really high-end competitive stuff, and if I remember I will stick a link down in the description. And he's pointed out obviously that you don't have to pick these for your whole army. This can be done on a detachment by detachment basis. So you may find that although Alatok is probably the strongest overall, you may actually get more mileage by picking a detachment using some of these. So that's what I've kind of got in mind here as I'm picking 6 pairs of Craftworld attributes that I think will make some strong combos. And these are in no particular order, just the order I happened to come up with them. So the first one is, if you're having a very close combat orientated part of your force, you get Savage Blades, which is reroll hit rolls of 1 in the first round of combat. So whether you were charged, or did a heroic intervention, reroll 1s to hit. And then combine that with Headstrong, which gives you +1 to your charge results. So obviously if you were having a very combat focused army, you could do this across your whole army, but it might be more advantageous to do it across just an outrider detachment where you've got your Shining Spears, or a Vanguard detachment where you've got your Howling Banshees and Striking Scorpions, that sort of thing. Maybe not want to take this across your whole army, but if you've got a very combat orientated element of your force, this could be great. Next up, Wrath of the Dead plus Expert Crafters. So Expert Crafters is basically the old Salamander trait of every unit can reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll every time they attack. And that is both shooting and melee, and Overwatch as well. So so that's really good. And the reason I'm thinking go with Wrath of the Dead with this, Wrath of the Dead is reroll 1s for Wraith units. So most of your Wraith units are going to be hitting most things on a 3+, so there's all your 1s rerolled straight away, and then reroll 1 hit that wasn't a 1 plus 1 wound. Generally with Wraith units, you're getting smaller number of units that are very elite, so you want to get the most out of them. It's one thing for a couple of your Guardians to miss, but if some of your Wraith Guards start missing with their Wraith Cannons, you can, have a big impact on your force. So if you're running a lot of Wraith units, definitely something to consider here, this little combination. Then we've got Master of Concealment plus Students of Vol. Now, Master of Concealment is probably the best defensive one of these. This allows you to get counters in cover at over 12 inches. So with a lot of Eldar units, you've got 4+ saves, so you can get it up to a 3. Those guys with 3+ saves, like the Wraith constructs and the vehicles, can go up to a 2+ save with this. And then Students of Vol is vehicles regain one lost wound at the start of every turn. So here I'd be thinking of a very vehicle-heavy element of your force, whether it's like 3 fire prisms as a spearhead detachment, or something with a lot of Wraith constructs or Wave Serpents. Actually, no, scrap the Wraith constructs. They don't actually strictly count as vehicles, but if you've got a very vehicular force, this could work really nicely. The Students of Vol would also be lovely if you're doing more of a Yemlock themed army. So talking a bit more on theme here than tactics, but Yemlock are known for having like the best vehicles and the highest proportion of vehicles in the Eldar. So yeah, something like that would work very nicely for that as well. So yeah, definitely some options here. Then we've got Children of Prophecy plus Masters of Concealment. So again, Masters of Concealment to give you that counts as cover at long range. And then Children of Prophecy. Now this one only benefits Psychers. And what it allows them to do is count all rolls of a 1 for psychic tests as 2. So yeah, it makes some of these easier to cast powers almost impossible to fail. Some of the new Runes of Fortune, you only need like a 4 to cast them, so even if you roll a double 1, it's going to count as a double 2. So definitely something you want to put, I would say, on a Supreme Command detachment, if you're running a lot of Psychers or a force that's kind of got your Farseer and your Warlocks in, like that element of your army. And then Masters of Concealment, just to protect you from those pesky Space Marine snipers and other snipers that are out there, giving you a little bit of extra protection. Then we got 2 that are really coming back to doing the damage, and these could work better on like a large proportion of your army rather than a small section of it. So first we've got Hail of Doom and Martial Citizenry. Now Hail of Doom is one of my favourites from here. It basically gives +1 to the armour penetration of all your shuriken weapons within 12 inches. And this stacks brilliantly with Martial Citizenry, which is reroll 1s for all your Guardians. So Guardians going to generally want to be within 12 inches to use their shuriken catapults, although see this does benefit all their weapons, so whatever they've got on their weapon platform is quite nice too. But you can drop down like a big 20-man Guardian bomb, maybe doom the target, guide the Guardians. Hey, you don't need to guide the Guardians, you've already got reroll 1s for Martial Citizenry. And yeah, you can really light up and do some damage out of reserves here. It's just a really nice one if you're running a lot of Guardians. Then you got Hail of Doom plus Supreme Shurikens or Superior Shurikens. So obviously Hail of Doom, -1 AP inside 12 inches. And Superior Shurikens is +4 inches to the range. Now obviously these don't go brilliantly together, because if you're getting extended range, you're not going to need that extra AP. But you could even combine Martial Citizenry with Superior Shurikens to get long range, more accurate Guardians. But I thought these two go quite nicely together. If you've got a lot of Shuriken stuff that perhaps isn't Guardians, like Dire Avengers, if they're at long range, great, we're now hitting you. I think it's either an extra 3 or an extra 4 inches. Let's have a look. Yeah, extra 4 inches, so your Dire Avengers are now going at 22 inches, which is nice, especially as Avengers got some cool buffs in this book anyway. Shining Spears now getting an extra 4 inches, they're up to 16 inches. So yeah, those are some nice combos there. Like I said, I don't think as like an army-wide combo or an army-wide trait, any of these are going to be more competitive than Alatok. They might be more fun, might unlock some new different builds, but I think the way you're going to see these is perhaps the bulk of the army being Alatok, and then having some detachments that use some of these other traits. So I could totally see like you going for like a main battalion and a flyer force from Alatok, and then going like Children of Prophecy, Masters of Concealment on a Supreme Command detachment that's got your Farseers and your Warlocks in, because a lot of the Eldar psychic powers don't specify Craftworld, they specify Ashurani, or they target the enemy anyway. So yeah, definitely a good combo there. Or if you want to run more of a melee orientated section to your force, because you're not going to run a full melee Eldar army, but you could go for like Savage Blades and Headstrong to do some of the cool stuff for the new Aspect Warriors. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like I say, this is going to be the third and final one I do of these, so I hope you found them interesting. And yeah, should be up with a battle report in a few days' time, hoping to shoot something tomorrow night. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.